All right, shalom, shalom. First things first, I want to give all honor and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wadash. We say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wadash. And we give double honors to our apostles and elders, which are the apostle elders at Great Millstone, which feed us with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding through the spirit and power of Yahweh Yahweh Shai. When the time at the end, 2023, which is the hopeful year that all the prophecies are fulfilled, that Yahweh Shai fulfills all the prophecies and gets the elect out of this wicked place. This is a re-upload. I did this video already, but the sound was cut on it. I don't know what Esau doing, man, but we just going to redo it real quick. The title of this is "The Wound Has Been Laid." All right, so we're going to jump right into the article. It says Saudi Arabia is buying Russian oil at record levels and laundering it onto European market. So what you see happening right here, just like I said in the last video, is to break everything down is that the European market through Esau sanctions through Babylon have had to cut off Russia. So what they're doing is that they're going behind America's back, EU too, European Union too. And what they're doing is that the Saudis are buying the Russian oil that would be used to the European Union, and they're buying it for a low price because Russia don't need oil. Russia's sitting on one of the biggest stocks of oil in the known world. All right. So they're not worrying about the money. So they're cutting Saudi Arabia in and giving them for a low price. And then Saudi Arabia is turning around and selling it to Europe and not using their stock, because what Saudi's doing is Saudi's getting away from the oil industry. The oil industry is something that they're phasing out. They're going into more of tourists, more things like that nature. But they're, instead of using their reserves to fulfill this order and tap theirs quicker, they're using Russia, and they're using their oil in there, because now you have an increase in oil coming to the Saudi kingdom. So this is all the wound that's laid, because guess what? This is killing the dollar, because this is taking the reserve currency away from the dollar. So this is laying a wound. What is a wound? Something that hurts you. So let's keep reading. It says Reuters has reported that Saudi Arabia is buying record levels of oil, Russian oil, and laundering it into the European market to evade various U.S. sanctions. Moreover, ship tracking data showed traders are stocking the fuel at the Farah hub in the UAE and in Saudi Arabia, United Emirates. It says report notes that the Middle East is rapidly positioning itself as a prominent supplier of industry fuel to both Europe and Asia. Moreover, they are adding stocks to Asia, as Russia oil only adds to the output of the refineries in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait. So what this is doing, right, is undermining Babylon's so-called power of the dollar. And they're not following toe. So this showing you that those horns are hating the whore. That all this stuff is leading up, because guess what? Money is something that these nations, that's why they deal with Babylon, is because of the money. It's because of the goody. That's why it says they have committed fornication with the woman, with the harlot that sitteth upon the beast. Okay, that's where you get something. Just like you commit fornication, it's a two-way street. If you commit adultery, guess what? It's a two-way. That's why the woman, if she don't call out, she's with it. She gets judged too. So the same thing with these other nations. They're not calling out. They're signing unto Babylon. They're following after Babylon's ways. They're in bed with Babylon. They're pushing that democracy, because what? There's money behind it. There's goodies. There's what's it called? Aid. That's why Babylon gives out so much aid, because guess what? They know that they have the reserve currency and they can print off any money they want. So these nations are like, they have to get in good with Babylon, or they won't get the crumbs that fall off the table of the printing press, pretty much, because Babylon can print its own money. These other nations can't print their own money. So what's happening now is that they're moving away from the dollar, and now whoever gets to print the money has that power. And these elites at the World Economic Forum has not named the U.S. They know they told you that there's going to be a final financial reset, but they never told you that America is going to be at the helm of that reset. They just told you there's going to be a reset, and the dollar is going to be phased out, because if there's digital currency, it's going to be a dollar. It's going to be a version of a dollar that's included with all these other cryptocurrencies. So Babylon could just be put in a mix, and they don't have the seat no more. Just like if somebody's demoted, you don't have the same luxuries as you did once you were a manager or a CEO. You don't have that no more because you've been demoted. So So these elites are demoting Babylon and telling the world without telling them, because not telling them that the U.S. is going to have that hegemony is the same thing as saying that they're not going to have it. Because guess what? Somebody has to rule. Someone has to be that guideline for all the monies to come under. Okay. So let's jump right into the precepts. Let me see here. Let's jump right into the precepts. This because these are going to bring it to light, man. These are the prophecies that we're watching. We're in the midst of a collapse of the Babylonian way. This is Obadiah 1 and verse 7. And it says, all the men of thy confederacy. And what's a confederacy? Something that's breathed together, with, and where there you get conspiracy. That's conspiracies to breathe together. All right. Confederacy is to wit, and the federacy, I have to look up what that word is, but we'll look it up right here. It says covenant, alliance, pledge. So they pledge to say we're going to rock with Babylon wherever they go. But now they're undercutting it by dealing with Russia, which is the enemy of Babylon in the world stage. But we already know that these elites are all in bed with each other. This is all for an agenda. It says treaty, alliance, league, men to men, constitution, ordinance. And what is the so-called sanctions is ordinances. See? So let's keep reading. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border, the men that were at peace with thee. And what's peace? Having trade, deals. And Saudi Arabia has been one of the main recipients of that through that oil trade. They've been receiving weapons, receiving logistics from Babylon, all these things that give it leeway and sway in that Middle East area towards the Levant, and where you get the it even says that's the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, man, the valley of Jehoshaphat. All right, so this is a player that is in the prophecy that is moving away from Babylon right now. So things are definitely in the wind. And it says the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. What is the word deceived? The word deceive is nazah or nawashah. It means what? To beguile, deceive, to beguile one, deceive. And that's what they're doing by buying Russian oil and turning around and selling it to the European market. Like it's not. So it seemed all it is Saudi Arabia pushing Russian oil. One of America's main allies going against what Babylon has decreed, and they're making money off of it. They're not caring. They're going through who's the highest dollar. It says, just like it says, a friend is your friend in a time of where you're doing good. But now Babylon is losing their power. They're trying to move towards the BRICS because they know something is transpiring. They're trying to make sure and take care of themselves, their pockets, and their supposed nation. Okay. It says, deceive thee. It says, as to have deceived thee and prevailed against thee, they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. In that wound. Let's go into that wound. The word there for wound is a mazarah, mawazar. If I'm pronouncing that right, forgive me. Net, trap, meaning devious. Let's look here. Let's look up this word. What this word is. Hesitant or doubting, not to be relied upon, suspect. Damn, that's it. So that's what you see happening right now. They're laying that wound, that wound, because this is hurting Babylon. This is hurting the petrodollar, and it's showing lack of respect for the United States when it comes to being that big dog on the block, man. So all these things are coming down, and call her law. The Lord is judging Babylon right now. Just like he was judging Egypt, because Egypt was a main hub. But what happened in the time of Joseph? But what happened when these plagues started hitting? The hub started drying up. The water was turned to blood. All this were economical destructions that the Lord was doing against ancient Egypt. That's why it says he shall smite Egypt with plagues as before. So he's doing the same thing at another. The Lord don't change, man, because it's not broken. If it's not broken, why break it? Or if it's not broken, why fix it? The Lord knows how to take down an economy. The Most High is the king of it, man. He's Malak when it comes to judging nations, man. That's what he does. You got some people that would say you play basketball, you play football, you play Whatever the Most High judges, that's his profession now. All right. And it says, this is Psalms 141 and mercy. Psalms 41 and verse 9. It says, yea, my own familiar friends in whom I trust, which did eat of my bread, have lifted up his heel against me. See, just like David was prophesying what's going on in Israel and what's going on in his own life is now transpiring and going on to Esau. Because certain things that was happening to Israel is now going to be happening to Esau in these times, man. So we living in the times of judgment. This is Jeremiah 30 and verse 14. Let's get it real quick. Jeremiah 30 and 14. And it reads, it says, all thy lovers have forgotten thee. And Saudi Arabia is one of those lovers because they're in their mind, they're trying to come up. They see a new kid on the block. It says they seek not, it says they seek thee not. They ain't looking for Babylon. They're moving away. They're knowing that, guess what? There's going to be something that comes down the pike. This war that's going on right now is shaking up the whole world. It's not just shaking up over here because Babylonians don't care. They're just thinking it's another day, another skirmish. No, this is going to change the hegemony of the world. It says, for they seek thee not, for I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy, with the chastisement of a cruel one, for the multitude of thine iniquities, because thy sins are increased. And you know this place sins. We can go on and on. Mambla, all these things, the alphabets, all these things. The Lord is getting this place, man. That's why it says he's long suffering. But once that patience is over, man, this is Jeremiah 49 and verse 7. It says, concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of Dedan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him. And he's being visited, man. He's being visited with these plagues and these different skirmishes because it seems to move for their agenda, but this is really the Most High's agenda, man. All right, this is the Most High's agenda being played out on a world scale. And it's already, this is the same thing how he's worked. Looking at the statue of Nebuchadnezzar. The statue of Nebuchadnezzar shows you that how the Most High is going to manipulate nations to do what his will. That's why it says that he ruleth in the kingdom of men. All right. He's showing it right now. This is the Most High working. The Lord is active, man. This is Revelation 17 and 16. I'm going to close. It says, the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Desolate and naked is going. How do you make a nation desolate and naked? You take away what? That power, that hegemony that it has. Then it's going to burn it, because once that digital reset happens, Babylon is going to be another. He's going to go on population. They're going to be in solitude. Solitude is going to be in general pop. It's going to just be another nation that's on the earth that has some military power. But it ain't going to be the one, because you got China coming up, Russia coming up. And these nations are teaming up with each other, man. All right. So Lord willing, this is edifying. I just had to re-upload this. Lord willing, the sound works. And I pray that this is an edifying lesson and to show you and show us that we need to, buckle down. And Yahweh Shem Yahushua is active in the world, man. So with that, I want to say, call Halom Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Until the next time, and more now than ever, keep faith. Shalom.